Okay, let's try it from this angle, okay? A few years ago, a tax collector comes to my door and he says, "You owe the government tax." And I say to him, "Look, I am a church unto myself. I am my own God. I do not believe in taxes. I will not pay them." And do you think he respected my religion? No. He made me pay my taxes. So I asked him, why then do the churches and the synagogues and the mosques and all these other institutions of belief not have to pay taxes? And he said to me, "I have no fucking idea." That was sort of like a parable thing. Now this comes to the point where we're talking about the Pope. I don't really like to talk about him too much because it's like talking about sticking your finger up your asshole. I mean, it's not really anybody's business. It's just usually, no, that's not a very good analogy. We're going to talk about him anyway, even though it is sort of stinky. And if you want to stick your finger up your ass, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's something wrong with the Pope. And he's fucking insane, and that's one of the problems. And we've got to a point where we think, well, it's okay for him to be insane. It's just a joke anyway, this game we're playing of life. But, the point was, he's actually got to a point where he might be causing too much trouble for the Catholic Church. And this would mean, of course, that he has to die. Well, and it's not that very unusual for a Catholic Pope to die, because they're all so bloody old when they get how do they get up there? Elected. The fucking hierarchy of priestdom. I mean, what's the difference between priest and a king? The priests pretend that they don't own anything. And they own everything. I think Paul said that. Paul, remember Paul in the Bible? He went along with it. He did have problems with his probably with his back. He didn't like his wife because his wife was Christian, and I don't think they had any sex, probably because he was impotent. And I don't say this to be mean, I just think that's probably significant to the fact that he was so bitter towards women, and that's part of the reason that Christianity is so bitter towards women, is because of Paul's bitterness, because Christianity was made by Paul, and it's completely not at all on the topic. The topic is, they're probably going to poison the Pope, because it's just simply simpler, okay? And it'll be said he dies of natural causes, because they all die of natural causes, because poisoning is a very natural cause. If you put poison in your system, you naturally are going to die, so it's natural causes. Apologetics. I love apologetics, but it's really for entertainment, because it's nothing. If you start with the assumption, we base everything on the fact that the Bible says so. Well, where the hell do you get the book from, man? Okay? Anyway, when the Pope dies, they're going to bring in somebody that's a lot more hardcore, okay? And he's going to come in, and then they're going to assassinate, what's the guy's name again? Obama. And then George Bush is going to come back for another term, and bring in Dick Cheney, and oh, this is getting out of control, isn't it? I'll be back later. I forgot to explain what the next Pope was going to be. I mean, there's always the prediction, of course, that the next one's going to be a black Pope. We got a black president. We got women now doing presidency somewhere in Africa, I believe, as well, which was an event to applaud, where they had actually gotten together and started praying. Well, this was a brilliant idea. I'm going to have to talk about one of my favorite journalists. We'll get to him, but probably later. The next Pope, he will be raised in the Vatican. He's been raised in the Vatican. He's probably never ever seen the outside world. He isn't aware that it exists. He's blind. He's hard of hearing. And he speaks 47 or 8 different languages. He is a mastermind and a genius at everything that he does. You can't beat him in playing chess. He's very, very attractive for his age, and he's probably very young for a Pope. Let's say he's 64. Will you still love me when I'm 64? Anyway, we can do a Pope betting game. Who's going to be the next Pope, and how soon is he going to be in there, and how fanatically straight line fundamentals is he going to be? But the thing is, it's cracking. It's falling apart. The whole thing is falling apart, and there's no way to repair it. See, you got to get yourself I mean, the Bush was like that as well. He was. He just didn't know what the hell was going on because it was just completely insane what's going on here. Anyway, we're going to skip all these fuckers and just talk quickly about the biggest terror event, and we're going to get the happier things later because, I mean, we need to know what can be the worst thing that can happen to us. I mean, the Pope doesn't matter, it's just a joke. And whoever they bring in after the next, I suggest you don't listen to him at all, just like you shouldn't listen to this one here. I mean, there was a nice Pope that was kind of interesting, but they killed him a long time ago when everybody thought, oh, this guy's going to be a little bit easier, and maybe they'll let people who are dying in Africa have used condoms and not tell them not to have sex. Okay, let's get to sex before we get about the war. And sex it's what we are. I mean, when you think about why did we crawl out of the fucking ocean in the first place to get on land, I know it wasn't a conscious thought we had, although we don't remember, obviously, but it was definitely an underlying part of us getting out of the ocean was to get to the point where we could be conscious beings and speak with one another and have immaculate sex. We can have immaculate sex. There's no other creature that spends so much time thinking about sex and only doing sex. You can have sex for a whole weekend. I mean, enjoy it. And what was the point? About not making it forbidden? No, I can't remember. Okay, let's get back to the war.